The movie begins in Heathbrook Academy, where we see an unpopular college student named Argie Arnold, who is smudged in dirt. He interrupts the ongoing summer ball in order to deliver a speech. As he begins, the scene flashes back to the past, revealing how he and his best friend Amelia's bond began. It turns out that they grew up together with their parents, who were also best friends. Ari and Amelia shared the same interests and understood each other deeply as they got older. Argie started developing feelings for her, but each time he tried to confess, something went wrong, and he ended up keeping his love a secret tragically. Amelia's mother passed away when she was 10 before she died. She gave Amelia a bracelet and told her to follow her heart, as it would always lead her in the right direction on the first day at school. After the Easter holidays, Archie plans to confess his feelings to Amelia. However, his plan is once again disrupted by the arrival of an attractive boy named Billy Walsh, who just got transferred from California. As he enters the school premises on his motorcycle, he immediately catches everyone's attention, including Amelia. In a few days, Billy becomes popular, excelling as an AAR student. He also earns captaincy of both the swimming and rugby teams. His popularity makes Amelia fall for him, clearly making Archie jealous. That same evening, Argie plans a special outing with Amelia to their favorite movie night, a cherished moment they have enjoyed together for years. He believes the night will be the perfect opportunity to confess his love towards her. But before he can do so, Amelia confesses her feelings for Billy. Instead, this breaks Archie's heart, and he's left completely speechless. Later that night, both Archie's and Amelia's families gather for dinner. During this, her father Rert asks Archie's parents for the secret to their happy marriage, the latter to respond that a love guru friend assisted them with their marital happiness after dinner. Amelia's preparing to watch a movie with Archie as she tries to grab some snacks from the kitchen. She overhears a conversation between her father and Archie's parents. During this, Archie's parents tell Rert about a love doctor who helped them improve their marriage. They suggest Rert seek his advice as well, especially since he has feelings for his colleague named Maggie. Upon hearing this, Amelia asks Archie to get the love doctor's contact. She explains that she wants to make Billy fall in love with her. Archie tries to refuse her request, but it only upsets her, prompting her to storm off. From then on, she starts ignoring him altogether when Archie cannot take it any longer. He eventually sneaks into his parents' room and finds the contact information. He then gives it to Amelia as an apology. During their conversation, she randomly asks if Archie is in love with her. However, he brushes her off jokingly, as he still doesn't have enough courage to admit his feelings. One day at school, Archie finds himself surrounded by some bullies. In a desperate attempt to find a safe place, he enters an acting class there. The instructor asks a shy boy to play the role of Romeo and fight for his love. The boy hesitates at first, but he eventually performs and manages to impress the instructor. This earns him praise from all of his friends. Seeing this, Archie gets a brilliant idea. He will become the fake love doctor and try to seduce Amelia. Upon reaching home, he buys a new phone and writes the new contact number on a piece of paper. He also uses Al to disguise himself as an older person. The next day, he goes to Amelia's locker to swap the contact number he had given her earlier. He holds the paper in his mouth and closes the locker door. Just then, Amelia shows up and questions what he's doing in her locker. However, he can't speak up because he has the paper in his mouth at the same time. Billy walks by, diverting Amelia's attention. Seeing the chance, Archie quickly puts a book inside the locker, preventing her from finding out about his mischief that night. Amelia dials the given number with excitement. Archie answers the call, pretending to be the doctor in an attempt to prevent her from dating Billy. He suggests that she draw artificial eyebrows on her face like Amber, a popular girl at school. The next day, Amelia goes to school following the love doctor's advice. However, everyone teases her about her drawn-on eyebrows. To make matters worse, a classmate accidentally spills juice on her face. All the students then start recording videos of her and mocking her with the nickname Bat Face Girl after school. Amelia calls the love doctor and shares everything with him in response. Archie encourages her to see the situation differently, suggesting that Billy noticed her because of what happened. He again advises her to stare at Billy as long as she can and also try to make him jealous the following day. She tries to do the same and attempts to kiss one of her classmates, but in the process, she accidentally bangs her head on the locker later in the restroom. Amelia overhears Amber and her friends gossiping about her trousers and hairstyle, determined to change her appearance. She decides to dress like Amber with pigtails, short skirts, and makeup. The next day, Amelia shows up at school in her new looks, drawing attention from everyone. However, she takes it too far when she sees Billy. She intentionally drops a pencil and bends to pick it up. As she does, she is hit by a car and falls to the ground. Billy attempts to help her, but Archie quickly rushes over, taking charge of the situation and escorting her inside. Meanwhile, Amber becomes envious when she witnesses Billy attempting to assist Amelia during lunchtime. Amber approaches Amelia with the intent of insulting her in front of the entire school. She mocks her in the cafeteria and even splashes milk all over her face. But Archie stands up for our girl and slams his lunch onto Amber's face. He then grabs Amelia's hands and takes her away from there later as they reach the schoolyard. Billy catches up to them. He compliments Archie on his actions back in the cafeteria and then asks Amelia out. This excites the latter, and she immediately accepts his invitation in the next scene. Amelia calls the love doctor to thank him with excitement. She informs him that his guidance paid off, and now she has confirmed a date with her crush. However, Archie, wanting to sabotage their date, provides her with misguided advice. Again, he tells her to be impolite to Billy and those around him. Amelia happily accepts the advice and heads out on the date. Later, Billy takes her to a restaurant where he sets a rose on the table in order to make her feel extra special. However, Amelia instructs the waiter to take away the rose and promptly orders an alcoholic drink. She makes an effort to treat Billy poorly and even flirts with a waiter. As the evening progresses, she becomes even more annoying, put off by her rude behavior. Billy abruptly ends the date, stating he has no interest in her anymore. The following day, a devastated Amelia makes a public apology via the school intercoms. Despite Archie's attempts to stop her, she shares embarrassing and frightening moments from her past. After a short while, the whole school goes outside the office to mock her. Archie then realized that his jealousy for Amelia has gone too far to drive the students away from the office. He sprays smoke from a fire extinguisher and forces Billy to stand right in front of the door. When Amelia spots her crush, she runs to him, and the two once again reconcile. Meanwhile, Archie decides to distance himself from Amelia after accepting that his feelings for her will never be reciprocated. As time passes by, Amelia realizes that she and Billy do not share any common interests like she does with Archie. As a result, she starts to miss him a lot. One evening, she and Archie are gazing at the night sky from their respective homes when they witness a giant star falling. They are both amazed by the sight. Later on, Amelia's father joins her, and she asks how he knew her mother was the one for him. Rhett tells her that they met at university when her mother's car was broken, and he gave her a ride. Hearing his story, she learns that their parents were childhood best friends. She also discovers that her father never confessed his love to her mother because he was afraid this prompts her to compare her parents' story to her relationship with Archie, which leads her to realize her feelings for him. The next day, Maggie helps Amelia get ready for the summer ball. Once she's done, Amelia opens the box of her late mother's belongings and takes out the bracelet her mother gave her before she passed away. She remembers her mother's advice to follow her heart, as it will rarely lead her the wrong way. Just then, Billy arrives to pick her up on his bike. At this moment, she decides to listen to her heart and not to go with him. So Amelia escapes through her window and heads towards Archie's place on the way. Her dress gets caught in her bike's chain, causing it to tear, but it still doesn't stop her, and she decides to run all the way to Archie's house. Upon arriving, Amelia offends him resting on his bed. She urges him to get ready, as she wants to go to the summer ball with him. However, Archie, who is unaware of his emotions, declines the offer when he continues to refuse. Amelia finally confesses her feelings for him, saying she has liked him for a long time. Hearing this, Archie reveals that he likes her too, and happily agrees to accompany her to the ball in the next scene. As Archie's getting ready, Amelia decides to message the love doctor about her situation with Billy, but as she sends him some texts, she hears Archie's phone ringing nearby. This finally makes her realize that he has been pretending to be the love doctor all along, heartbroken by the betrayal. She heads to the summer ball alone. Archie later rushes to the venue, but before he can enter, he's captured by the school bullies. They beat him up and tie him upside down to a pole on the school grounds elsewhere. Amelia confronts Billy about her feelings, and after a brief conversation, they mutually agree to break up one of the bullies, then informs Billy that they have dealt with his problem hearing. This Billy realizes that Archie is in trouble, so he rushes to his help after freeing him. He encourages our hero to go after Amelia. Archie then rushes to the stage and interrupts the ball, continuing the scene from the beginning. He gazes up and sees the sparkling chandelier overhead, triggering thoughts about the various kinds of stars in the galaxy, each with distinct characteristics. He envisions everyone as a star in the galaxy and calms down the audience who had been spreading hate toward him. Archie then admits his feelings as well as his errors in front of everyone, including Amelia. Upon hearing his heartfelt apology, she ultimately forgives him, and they share a romantic kiss in the final scene. Everyone slowly dances to the music, bringing the evening to a harmonious end.